5 o'clock. This is our call meeting, and we're still under order. So we want to go into the agenda items.
Do we need to get approval on that agenda?
Huh?
Do we need to get approval on that agenda?
Yeah, we need to approve the agenda item, don't we?
Yeah.
I hear a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
You got a second? Any discussion on it? On the agenda? If not, let's vote on it. Mr. Burris?
Aye.
Mr. Pope? Aye. Mr. Lucas? Aye. Mr. Barnard? Chair votes aye. Okay. Approve the agenda now. The items, one is rezoning request for 3230 Smith Drive. And that's to rezone that thing from, everybody, we've had a lot of discussion on it. I hear a motion to rezone that thing.
Mr. Chairman, I offer a motion that we grant the rezoning request for 3230 Smith Drive from LI to GI.
Okay, you got a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Let's vote on it. Any discussion, any more discussion on it? Anything from the board? Mr. Burst?
Aye.
Mr. Pope?
No.
Mr. Lucas?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Okay. This is the B, the memorandum. This is the vote on the revised memorandum for the understanding with the Ware County Board of Education. Excuse me, this is a resolution adopt the access plan community development block grant. What, I don't.
Memorandum to understand with the Ware County Board of Education.
Yeah, that's the memorandum of the understanding with the Ware County Board of Education.
Yes.
Yes, sir. That was, I think, that was under tab A.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on. Okay. I hear a motion to adopt that.
We're talking about for the SROs, right?
Yes.
I make a motion that we adopt it as asked for.
I'll second it.
Okay. Anything, any discussion on it?
Mr. Moore, what is this memorandum about?
This is an agreement with the Board of Education for us to be able to apply for the grant funds for the SRO staff that they have on board now.
They can apply for those funds with our agreements?
Yes, sir. Yeah, with only the local governments can apply, and we're doing it on their behalf.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, second, anything on it? Any discussion on it? Not, let's vote on it. Mr. Burris?
Aye.
Mr. Pope? Mr. Lucas?
Aye.
Mr. Barnard? Chair votes aye. And then C. Resolution 2022-02, adoption of the language access plan for the Georgia DCA. That's for the,
Chairman, I move that we, adopt the resolution 2022-02, the adoption language access plan, Georgia DCA.
okay. Any discussion on it? Don't
I just
understand
made a
it.
motion, I don't think we have a second yet.
You got a second?
I'll second it.
Got any discussion on it?
Mr. Moore, this, says that we will adopt a plan for, language services to any non-English speaking citizens who are involved in any kind of grant?
That's correct, yes, sir. For federal funds, when you receive federal funds, you've got to have this plan in effect. Only to provide a way for those folks to be able to communicate with the local government if there's assistance needs to be given.
And there shouldn't be any cost to the county, just adopting the plan.
That's it, yes, sir. We have to do this, actually, it has to be approved every time we receive federal funds. So if we get another CDBG a couple of years from now, we have to do it all over again. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And also it was, I think, like I said, stipulations about the percentage or whatever, as far as you have
Yes,
to
sir.
go, redoing all your material.
Right,
You could
right.
just pretty much.
5% or more.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And I think it even had a provision about, you could get like somebody to interpret or something, it was just maybe one-on-one or something,
That's correct, right. And we still would do that no matter who, so, if someone was to call or try to communicate with us, we'd still try to make arrangements to get an interpreter or at least get it converted.
This is not something
That
we
would
haven't
be at
done in
our-
the past.
What's that? What's that?
This is not something that we haven't done in the past as
We-
the need comes up.
Right, we do it each time, yeah.
Thank
That
you.
would be at the county's expense to hire an interpreter or whatever to,
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
okay. Anything else on it? We had a motion, we got a second. Let's vote on it. Mr. Burson?
Aye.
Mr. Pope? Mr. Lucas?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Now D, alcohol license application. I hear a motion to approve that.
Mr. Chair, make a motion that we approve it, this applicant has met all the qualifications and, so I'll make a motion that we're gonna approve it.
Okay. I got a second.
I'll second that.
Okay. Have a motion and a second to adopt that alcohol license application. Any discussion on it?
Yes, under discussion, Mr. Schubert, where is this located? You said it, I can't remember. You brought it up during the work session.
I'll be in Norman. Just go trades, convenience store. On Albany Avenue, Norman Street.
Old Benny and where?
Gorman,
Gorman.
right there where the old Ware County High School was on Gorman Road.
It was closed down for a while, a few years
was,
ago,
and
and then they opened
opened
it
it
back up. Yeah.
Thank you.
2207.
You got it.
You said it met all the requirements, everything. Have a motion and a second.
I'll second it. I think Mr. Burke gave the motion.
That made a motion.
Any more on it? More discussion? All right, let's vote on it. Mr. Burris,
Aye.
Mr. Pope,
Aye.
Mr. Lucas,
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, now we're on E, the Miracle League Memorandum Understanding. What we want to do is we ask for this revised memorandum of the understanding between the Miracle League and Ware County. So, I have a motion on that thing.
I motion that we approve it with the stipulations just made, the modifications just made, rather.
Okay, we get a second on that.
I second it, Chairman.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Is there anything that anybody needs to correct or to bring out before we vote?
Yes,
Is
Mr.
that
Chairman.
like to see change?
I'd like to ask Mr. Moore to give a short synopsis of what this does, so that those viewing at home will know what we're talking about.
Yes, sir. At a previous meeting, the county commission awarded a bid for the construction of the Miracle League field, for the Miracle League for Okefenokee. And what this document does is it sets the conditions of the participation of the Miracle League board, and their donating or paying $375,000 toward the construction of the field, and the field, I believe, is a little over $500,000, and Ware County is contributing $155,000 of ARPA funds to match with that to construct the field. And this document provides, as I was saying, the guidelines and the establishment of the situation of that participation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there any more on it? If not, let's vote on it. Burst,
Aye.
Mr. Pope,
Aye.
Mr. Lucas,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Okay. Let's go to F. Georgia DOT Local Maintenance Improvement Grant, what they call the LMIG application.
Yeah, this is the proposed list of road improvements that we are recommending to put in that application. That has to be turned in by the end of this month. And there's 3 categories: existing dirt road paving with some minor improvements, and existing paved road widening and resurfacing. And we have to match the grant with 10%.
Okay. I hear a motion on it.
Chairman, I move that we adopt the Department of Transportation Local Maintenance and Improvement Grant, known as the LMIG, application as presented by the manager.
Okay, I got a second. I have a second.
I got one question first. On the existing dirt road paving with minor improvements, Torrey Circle, Sylvia Lane, and the cul-de-sac. I've spoke with several of them people down there in that area, and it's already been staked off where the county property is. They said they staked it off about 3 years ago. And their concern is that the buildup that has washed away into the creek, that it won't be built back up before it's actually paved.
Right, yeah.
That's their main concern there on the Torrey Circle part, but
Okay.
if it falls under the minor improvements, I would take that would be part of the minor improvements made
Yep.
to that area.
Yes, sir.
Right.
I know that they were saying, I believe engineer was saying there's got to be a cross drain that's installed on that
Right.
road. I believe that's what what he was saying, on Tory, about putting a cross drain in there? Yeah.
That is not on this list, right?
What's that? Tory is, it's on
Tory's on the list.
the, it's
yeah,
on the
Tory
middle
Circle,
one.
Sylvia
On the
Lane.
LMIG, on the middle.
Yes, sir.
part? Okay.
Yeah, it's like the sixth one down, I think. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sixth
Okay.
road down.
Thank you.
All of these will be included in that amount that you got there. Now, I thought
Yes, sir.
that top one was, in it.
Yeah,
Emerson
it,
Park.
yes, sir. Those streets in the box at the top, those are the streets that are in the peripheral area of that CDBG grant. The CDBG's doing this more of the center part, and this is the streets that are around and surround. Is that correct, Brandon?
Yes, so you're talking
So-
about the existing dirt road paving list?
Yep, that's it.
So that's all in Emerson Park.
So we'll be able to cover all of this with the LMIG, then if we get that grant, we cover all of these.
Yes, sir. Because the CDBG is doing 5 or 6 streets, and then these are the additional streets around them that need to be taken care of too.
Okay. All right, that's good.
Based on past experience, what percentage of this total, which is $1.176 million, how much would we expect to receive from the state based on past experience?
This is the total amount. We would have to, usually it's around about $1 million roughly.
$1 million.
Yeah. I don't remember what the amount was last time, but
1,007,000 and some change, so right out of $1 million was the amount of the 2022 grant from the state. So we have to have a 10% match, so our county portion will be the difference between the overall cost and that $1,007,000.
So unless we've got some more, we won't go through the complete list, but we'll start at the top, Emerson Park, and then move down, right? Is that what the plan is?
this is to do all those streets, if that's what you're asking, on the sheet.
On this sheet.
I know, but according to him, we won't receive enough to do this, will we? Or will
Well,
we?
we'll have to match.
And add our match?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
It'll be a little more than 10%.
right, okay.
You want it to be, the 10% is the minimum, so you want to be able to make sure you don't have to send any money back. So you want the projects to be more than the grant amount plus the 10%.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more discussion on it? Everybody clear with it?
We never got a second. I don't
Got a
think,
second?
on that.
Need a second?
Got a second?
You got a second? Okay.
And as far as on discussion, just, for clarification, Scott, these, streets can only be paved in the county, right? I mean, no city streets can be.
That's correct. They're all in the county.
Okay.
Okay. We can't add no more to them, can we?
We could. It's just that money that we would have to pay out for whatever we add. You know, you could really match the LMIG dollar for dollar if you wanted to and make it a $2 million project. The minimum's 10%.
That's the limit we can ask for what we got on there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, as far as what the grant would be, but yeah, we can put as much money toward the whole project as we want to and, you know, add a whole nother 15 or 20 streets as long as we're paying for it.
They formulate that amount, Chairman, based on our county population and length of road miles. And they'll send out a list of what everybody gets for the year on the initial LMIG amount. Then if there are any local governments that aren't able to have their match amount come up with that money, there'll be a round of an additional LMIG. In some years, like last year, there wasn't any. It just depends on the local governments and if they're able to come up with a match requirement.
Okay.
I'm sure that, I think that's probably what you were asking.
Yeah, I know, cause we've used LMIG money on other things before, I mean, on other outside projects, what they've been asked for, right?
Yes.
We
Yes,
use that
sir.
on Manor and all that,
That's correct. Yes, sir.
okay.
Like he was saying, sometimes, local governments don't have the money to match it. So they can't use all of it, or sometimes they just can't use it at all, and they'll turn it back into the state, and then that's when they come back out again and say, hey, we have additional LMIG, you know,
Okay,
so sometimes that does happen.
yeah. All right. We have a motion, we didn't. Yeah, that had a second.
Yeah, I have a motion and a second.
Okay. Let's vote on it. Mr. Burris,
Aye.
Mr. Pope, Mr. Lucas,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Okay. County manager report.
The only thing I was going to mention is that typically we have a commission retreat the second meeting of February, toward the end of February, and I'll get with you all on trying to nail down a date, so we can get working on that, because this year we'll have to spend some time looking and discussing some of the things on the new lost negotiation with the city. So we'll try to plan that toward the end of February.
Okay.
I don't have anything else,
That's all.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Commission comment?
I don't.
I don't have anything.
I'd like to, ask about the, Jamestown. I'd like to, Brandon,
Brandon.
update us a little bit on that project, cause some of them done gone, but they wanted something on it.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, thank you, sir, Commissioners, thank y'all. They were able to come last week, and they were able to get a boring in that area where they could not the week prior because of how wet it was and the equipment that they brought out initially to do that. And they were concerned with being able to get that in with that lighter equipment. I think they were trying to go down at least 65 feet to check the soils to that depth. They were able to get that deep bore put in, thankfully. So they're going to come back Wednesday and Thursday of this week, weather permitting, and do some of the other. I think the other bores were going to be 30 to 35 foot deep. There was about a handful they were going to want to do on the north side, and then there's some clearing that needs to be completed before they can get their equipment in off of the wind clay end, and hopefully they'll be able to line that up with a clearing contractor to get that done and come back and get those in. So they were able to get that deep one in. They were worried about it, so we're glad to hear that, and hopefully they'll be able to come and successfully complete the remainder of the work on the north shore, and then get the clearing done so they can come back and get that on the south side. And so we get those soils tests turned in. They said probably be a week or so before they get the reports out to the consultant to check everything that on the assumptions that were made during the foundation designs, and go from there.
Okay.
And,
How about the property? Is the right of ways has been acquired now?
We're trying to wait to make sure that there's no problems encountered with the soil investigations before the bunch of legal fees are spent on the right-of-way acquisition. As soon as we get the green light on the soils report, we'll immediately go to the attorney's office and start that right-of-way acquisition process and get that ready to go pretty quick. And we're going to try to make sure we stay on that process to make sure that we're hearing back in timely manner from those residents, and anything that's held up, make sure that we move on any other further actions sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And have that turned around just as quick as we possibly can, so that we can start on that. And I heard that there was a blockage yesterday for over an hour. So
Another one today.
yeah.
They
Had two
were,
phone
they
calls
are.
on it.
So the trains are still being an issue, and we are very well aware of that, and are trying to get this put in just as quick as we can, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Now, on Osborne Road, now I've had calls on Osborne Road. Is it moving, or is it bogged down, or what?
There's I think maybe just one individual that we're having to file a condemnation on, and that's the process of where that's at right now. And
they like to have everything in order pretty quickly before it goes out to bid, because you have contractors holding prices and things, and you don't wanna have anything with a judge and an order having to be placed with the court system. They like to have all those, condemnations filed before it goes out to bid, because you open yourself up to, just like with this, field, it's been under, we've had it bid out now for a couple of months, and we're trying to work out an MOU with the Miracle League, and we've got a contractor calling and asking about the status of that project, because they're sitting on a quote that they've had now for a couple of months in place, and material costs and things like that can go up. So they try to avoid all that as much as we can, get all those things worked out before it goes out to bid. So that's what, and I'll check with the county attorney's office and find out where we are on that Osborne Road to make sure that
Okay,
if there's, hadn't heard back and we've been beyond that 60 days that we've been giving people, they need to go ahead and file that condemnation and get going on that one.
okay. All right, thank you, Brandon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman.
Any of y'all got anything for
Well,
Brandon?
Brandon, I'm just curious on the bridge, whatever they doing, I know they're doing all the boring, that bridge, how will it be constructed? Is it kinda like I guess precast or how did it?
A
bridge?
similar bridge that we recently completed has been out there on Indian Mound Church Road, and they had it was almost like you're saying precast pieces they put in and formed up the caissons, and they come in and put the deck in.
Okay.
They built the deck over there in Patterson, I think it was, is where that contractor is over there.
Okay.
Underground construction, and then erected it, poured everything,
Okay.
the wall, barrier wall and things like that in place. A lot of it was pre-fabbed, cast over there, and then hauled on the side and placed with a crane.
Yeah. Okay.
It goes pretty well, pretty slick operation.
Good. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
I know Smith Road coming good, it's being staked. I've noticed the staking and all going on in it.
Yes, sir.
It's underway.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else? Need any? Okay, thank you, Brandon.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Chairman.
Thanks for the information. Okay. I hear a motion to adjourn.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Adjourn.
I thought you might
Meeting
also have a
adjourned.
copy of the